Hi and welcome everyone. This is Nikhil Kapahi, your host, currently doing this alongside my job at Amazon. These are some of the shorter clips from the long format conversation that we have on our channel. I hope you enjoy this. It's just that
Yeah.
thing that they're doing something
Okay.
beyond
Yes.
themselves. And to
100%.
me that was
And
a
but
great
also
inspiration.
I will say you have a very young child. They were exhausted when they had a very young child. I maybe not, but most of the time it's those very early days that are so exhausting and you're like, how do people do it? And then they get a little older and every year that's just a little easier and it's a little easier to find that time for yourself. And I found it very overwhelming when I first had Alex. Like I was not like the creative,
Mhm.
like I'm gonna start something or whatever when I was young. I was not starting a podcast when I had a 2 month old. So well done. And I will say also, it's a great lesson as she grows up to watch her father love what he does. Like, watch her father go after a dream. Like, I think, when I did Good Hangups and I had gone on Shark Tank, I think if I hadn't done that, Alex wouldn't have had the thought, I want to make a game, I want to do it Kickstarter, because he wouldn't have known about these things. So, on some level, each thing's an inspiration, even if it's a subtle thing, right? Like, even if it was when I did Shark Tank, I've said this before, I was well, actually, when I did something else, it was on the Today Show. I thought, oh my God, I've never been on TV. I'm gonna bite it. I'm gonna embarrass myself. And I thought, you know what? If I do, if I humiliate myself on national TV in front of everybody, Alex will see this and he will see that I totally bit it. Like it was bad. And he will see I didn't die. I just got up and did something different. So, on some level, there's actually, I have this thing right here. I found this little postcard. It might be reversed for you, but it says
Failure
failure
is
is
cool.
cool.
That's so
I
beautiful.
got this in Paris. Like it's a postcard, and I got this in Paris before I started Good Hangups. After I had a couple things I just didn't finish and didn't launch, and I loved just the sweetness of a kid thinking that that's fine. And I think
Right.
it's the trying that's the important part. It's not about the succeeding. It's great if it does. It's a lot easier if it does. But if it doesn't, you tried it and you learned something from it and it leads you to something else. So that was my thought of like if I bid it on national TV, he would know, he would have the lesson. You can risk it. It might suck, but you'll be fine.
Absolutely. I think the things I've been hearing about raising kids is they emulate what you do. You may
Yeah.
say things to them and they'll be like, "Yeah, yeah,
Oh, good
whatever."
point.
And you do the exact opposite. You're like, "Go chase your dream," and you're slogging at something that you don't enjoy. They're like, "Okay, that's something you're supposed to say just to sound good, but you
Yeah,
don't do that."
yeah.
And I think that's something at least it's only been 2 months, but I think I see in your case
Yeah.
is it really makes you step up
Yeah,
as an
it
individual.
does. And I mean, it's easy on sometimes. I mean, because you're tired, it's a lot of work to have kids, it's a lot of things. You think, oh, I need to put my time into them and not prioritize myself. That prioritization of yourself sometimes is a gift to them. It shows them how to prioritize themselves as well. So it's hard to remember when you're exhausted, but it's a beautiful thing. And I'm glad that you doing this podcast and doing some things is coming to you naturally. It's not like you had to make that. I mean, you just felt like, oh, I feel driven to this. That's the best when you don't have to make the decision when you're exhausted and you feel like I really do want to do this, but I don't know if I can get the energy up. That's the harder part because you don't have the like it's easier to put yourself aside when you have kids, but
Right.
it's important.
No, absolutely. And it helps to have a great wife who's like a great artist and who helps me
I
set
know I was
up
gonna
and
say her stuff is amazing.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that is
No,
awesome.
on the last note, like where can people find you? Where can people reach out if they have like,
Oh,
some
yeah.
the best way is go on Amazon.com, go on Tacos versus Burrito, go on
Yeah,
click on
yeah.
buy now, and
Right.
buy 10
But
of
if
those for your
you're
family.
yeah, yeah, that would be great. And thank you for your service, anyone out there who buys it. But beyond that, I'm on LinkedIn, so feel free to reach out there. I love talking to people about their businesses and ideas. I like the idea phase. I love that my friends all know if they've got an idea, call me. I have a friend who just got laid off recently, and I'm excited to talk to her about what's next. I'm excited to have some drinks, chat about like, what do you want to do? What could be next? Because it's a fun, exciting phase when you're in the beginning of something or when you're contemplating it. Overwhelming when it's you, not overwhelming to
I
me
really
because it's not
appreciate it. I think
me.
it's also kind of lonely.
Yes,
Especially smaller businesses. I mean, everything has to start
100%.
small, and it's kind of it helps to know. And I see that one thing that I noticed was on your LinkedIn, you have so many kudos and just thank yous to people. It really touched me
Yeah.
in a way because most people
Oh,
don't
thank
do
you.
it. And I think
Mm.
especially at Amazon, like, I've been there 9 years working at Amazon, and
You're
and
going to
when
get your
you,
10-year badge soon.
yeah. So I'm so glad that, you reach out and you recognize people. And I think that's kind of
Yeah.
makes it the journey a little bit more wholesome. And that's where I feel
Yeah.
that it is a lonely path, and is a lonely path for a lot of people. And I think just reaching out, just, tap on the shoulder and just saying thank you, that
Yeah,
just
find a
makes a big
community
difference.
or reach out to people and talk to them because, it might feel daunting to go out and feel like, oh, I don't know if I can ask for this because they're big, I'm little, or whatever. You're just starting out. They're already, somebody helped them. So they will be
Right.
happy. Not everybody will be. There are some people who probably don't want to hear from you, but most people are happy to help. Right now, I have somebody who actually is at Amazon, and she is amazing. She is starting a baby clothing brand. And so she and I've been working on it together on like getting all the things done and working with the factory. And so I like to help people. Like I used to have it and I'm bringing them back, which I called them open office hours on Fridays, every other Friday. And to where if you wanted to show up and ask a question, you could. If you didn't, I'm there. I'm just going to work if no one shows up. If somebody shows up and has a question, great. But often it's the conversations when there are groups of people on talking to each other and getting information from each other. And it is a lonely thing if you don't reach out. And that's what I think
Right.
a lot of these seller groups online are for people, like getting that connection. But I'm always excited to hear
Yeah.
about people's
No, absolutely.
ideas.
And I
And
think also a lot of people think that reaching out means you've achieved something, especially on LinkedIn. You would notice
oh,
that,
yeah.
oh, I got promoted. Let me make a post, and that's it. And
Yes,
I
it's
think it doesn't
it's
have to
it's
be such a
bragging.
big.
It's like or not bragging. It's a I'm announcing something. Yeah.
Right. And it takes a lot of effort for people to realize, like, you don't have to just do those. Like, reach out
No.
doesn't mean that you, oh, look at me, I achieved something and I'm okay to have
Yes.
a conversation now. I think it's
Yeah. I've never had someone reach out to me and I looked them up to see if they were
right.
eligible or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Yes.
usually most of the people who reach
Social
out to
ranking.
me are like, I have an idea. Usually it's like my kid has an idea, or like I have a lot of people
Right.
who reach out because they're thinking about games with their kids and stuff. Love to talk about that stuff all
No,
day.
absolutely.
And again, somebody talked to me, like I've asked for help from a lot of people. And so I've always been shocked. These people in MDS who are like at 150 million dollars will talk to me. I still have it. It happens to everybody. And so there was a book called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. That's just the concept. If you're doing something you've never done before, you're going to have fear.
Right.
It's just built into you've never done this and it has some risk associated with it. So
Right.
you can apply that to starting a business, but you can also apply that to reaching out to people and just know, if they're not interested, they probably won't reply. So it nothing hurts to reach
Yeah,
out.
and it's
But
just an
I get
indication.
it.
It's just a signal. I think it's just that when you're feeling that way, it's just maybe a signal that you're on the right path because you're pushing that
Yeah.
boundary.
Yeah.
So, no,
Agreed. Agreed.
absolutely. It was so good to have you. I think
Yay.
I keep hitting you up, and if my baby comes up with ideas, I'm like, look, somebody, I'll make her talk to Alex.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Although, he's 14 and people will say, oh, does Alex want to talk about this? And he's like, no, he's 14. He has no interest in this, but he would talk to you all day about music and like other stuff, but he never wants to talk about the business side of things. So, and I
Absolutely.
love it because I want him to be his own human and not feel he has to do anything based on something he did when he was young.
If you thought this clip was interesting, I want you to go watch the whole, real, and raw, unfiltered conversation on my YouTube channel. These guests are exceptional people that I've found within my network. You will not find them anywhere else on the platform. If you want more of such content, please click subscribe and click the notification button so you get notified when the next video comes out. I really appreciate you for listening in. Thank you so much.